Good morning. Well, at least it is right now, anyway. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is basically what's it like to drive this thing, and so I thought I'd do a little bit of a intro slash driving video. I've got a cruising thing that I'm going to today, so good time as any to do that. So I think first off, the cars like this, basically any kind of car that you build or even like modify, how it drives totally depends on how you decide to do it, right? So you can make it kind of as crazy as you want, or comfortable or uncomfortable. I've seen a bunch of guys build SLCs where they're like super comfortable on the street, and try to make them quiet and things like that, and that's all cool. That's definitely not the route that I went on with this. For me, that's what the daily drivers are for. They're comfortable and all that kind of fun stuff. I don't care about that too much with this thing. I don't want it to be a massive pain in the ass to drive. But I built it to have fun and do track days, stuff like that. So it is not remotely practical. I took it to work a couple times just for fun, and that's all fine, but I definitely would not want to drive this thing every day. But again, that's mostly down to how I built it. So that being said, the just kind of the basics. So getting into the car is, it looks really uncomfortable to do, but it's actually not bad. The car height is I think it's like 43 inches tall at the roof line, so it's pretty low. But getting into it is actually really simple. So you literally just step on the floor pan right there, and you can actually just stand up and then sit down in the car. I have on mine, I don't have the roll bar covered up, so that is a great grab handle, and then also you can support yourself over here on the sill. So yeah, for getting in and out, it's actually pretty easy. So I'm going to reposition the camera inside and then show some of the stuff inside before I turn it on. Okay, so I'm in the car. A little dark in here right now, but this one I just have 5-point or 6-point belts in, no regular belts. So and having the removable steering wheel, that's really just a function. It just makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the car. So I'm gonna turn the ignition on, but I won't start it just to keep the noise down for a bit. There we go. So that's the other thing. This is these are the keys. This thing's gonna start trying to play music in a second. It has a starter disable on it. So I forgot I had that turned off. Let's see. So just a brief kind of description of what's going on in here. On the dash, the red button here is, shut up. On the dash, the red button's the horn. That's the starter. Ignition. This one is for auxiliary fan on the oil cooler. Hazards. This is the ventilation AC system, wipers, and interior light. So you hear the electric water pump just cycling occasionally while it warms up. Have the aim dash over here. This thing, just to make it easier to see, this thing has several different screen options. It's got a whole bunch of other stuff, other screens available. These are just the ones that I've got loaded onto it and configured. Obviously it's showing warning lights because the motor's not running. In terms of comfort, the thing is actually really comfortable to sit in. I've got I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a dead pedal over here to rest my foot on. The seat setup, obviously for me, I do have it fixed, so there's no slider or anything like that. I've got plenty of headroom. With the helmet on, it's like perfect. There's like a, I don't know, inch maybe. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", about right around 200 pounds. I'm fatty. Bigger guys can fit in these. You just have to obviously adjust the steering wheel and seats and everything appropriately. So anyway, let's go ahead and start the thing. So you can tell it's reasonably loud in here. It's obviously not, it's not a quiet car. I don't have very much sound deadening in the car. In fact, pretty much everything I've got, aside from a little bit of dyno man on some of the aluminum panels around, most of what I've got is on the back firewall panel. Basically, the camera is mounted on the rear panel right now, so it's the camera is about, I don't know, probably a foot from the front of the engine at most. So probably get a fair amount of rumbling, but for the engine and cam that it has in it, it's not a quiet quiet motor. But that's just, like I said, how I decided to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and the camera system has options to display. So I've got front, rear, left, and right. These are in the side vents. I just usually leave it on the rear camera, so that's most convenient. This thing does also have Android Auto on it, so I've got the map and all that crap. So that comes in handy. Oh, forgot to mention. So I do have. Just turn this on. We've got the fire bottle system. The bottle's up under the dash there, so that's the port for that. This is emergency fuel pump shutoff. So if you roll it or whatever, that switch pops. Brake bias adjustment, normal steering or normal turn signal, dash vents. Yeah. And the front lift is right in front of the shifter here, so it's kind of loud. I'm just gonna jack it up to get it out of the driveway. Without the front lift, this thing is completely useless. Even with it, to get out of my driveway, which isn't that terribly steep, I have to, as you can kind of see here, I've got to go at quite a bit of an angle. The front right tire is off the ground right now. up to a little over 200 on the temps with the AC on. So yeah, it holds the temperatures really well. And that was either with the original belt-driven water pump, and pretty much the same thing with the electric water pump now. I haven't yet tried the electric water pump on the track yet, so theoretically it should be just fine. All right, so hopefully that gave you a decent idea what it's like to drive in this thing. Sorry about the audio quality. I listened to it a little bit after it and realized that it's hard to hear anything. So, but anyway, thanks a lot for watching.